Alright, Jeep update 55, and 55 is a pretty exciting update because we're going to attempt to at least put the drivetrain into the Jeep, and that's the engine, the transmission, and the transfer case all at once. I finally got the headers, they came in, so I'm going to work on those, and then my buddy Matt's coming over to help out with the actual installation of the motor and getting everything lined up. So really excited, should be really fun.
Alright, Jake, I'm trying to film a video here. This is actually a really exciting day because I've got the drivetrain ready to go. Been waiting on the headers, and there they are. So Jake is pretty insistent on being in this video for some reason, but you good, buddy? Huh? You just gonna park it right there? Alright, so really excited about these headers. These are Sanderson headers. Supposed to be very, very well made, and we're going to get these out of the box, take a look at them. Alright, so finally there's the headers, and that's what they look like out of the box. And this is everything that you get. Now these are block hugger headers, and they are ceramic coated, so they shouldn't turn blue when they get hot like some of the other ones I've seen do. And you've got your collectors there, and you've got instructions and no gaskets. So you don't have collector gaskets, and you certainly don't have exhaust manifold gaskets. They recommend that you don't use a gasket, but they do recommend that you use the ultra copper Permatex, and I've got a tube of that right there. Alright, I always like to point this out when I can, but these Sanderson headers are proud to be made in America, so an American made product, and they certainly have a reputation for quality. Alright, really excited to get these things mounted on the motor, and once we do that, we're going to mock this thing up and get these motor mounts welded in. Alright, so this is kind of interesting. I bought the ultra copper. These are the instructions, and it recommends ultra black, and it recommends to put an 1/8 inch bead around the raised areas of the headers and then let it dry overnight. So didn't expect that, but that's okay because we're not planning to mock up the motor until the morning, tomorrow morning. So I'll get the Permatex on there, and then I'll let it sit overnight and then screw these things in or bolt these things in the morning. Alright, so I put the Permatex on that they recommend, and I put it on as they recommend, and there it is. The other odd thing is they say to let it dry overnight, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let it dry overnight, and then I will put the headers on in the morning. Alright, North Georgia, February 2020, and the snow is coming down. Thankfully we're in the garage. If you hear the heavy panting in the background, Jake's got a little girlfriend over here today. Casey, right, Matt?
Yes.
Alright, so that's all the heavy panting, and Matt and I are trying to put this motor in, get it lined up, and see if we can weld in those motor mounts. Cannot believe the snow. Never happens up here, and I don't think this was predicted very well at all. Did you know this was coming, Matt?
They said there would be flurries in the morning, but
yeah,
they said accumulation was not predicted.
Flurries, right? That's more than freaking flurries. That's heavy snow.
That's some heavy snow there, yeah. And it was 31 degrees coming over this morning.
Alright, so these are the Novak motor mounts so far. Certainly lots of adjustability in these motor mounts. Pretty heavy duty stuff. Liking it so far. Alright, here's where we're at. We just got the cross member put in, and we are trying to get this thing fine-tuned. It's pretty rough right now, but we'll get it. So, alright, so we're thinking that we have this thing lined up, right? So it's an 1 3/8 offset to the driver's side, which lines up with the rear yoke of the differential, right? Or the,
Correct.
is that the right way to say that?
Yeah, the center line of the rear axle where the drive shaft mounts is offset 1 3/8 inch to the driver's side. So we're going to put everything in line, offset that same 1 3/8 inch, so that theoretically the center line of the crankshaft goes a straight line all the way through to the rear pinion.
I'm gonna come back a little bit. So if we've got 12, and that bolts the center line. We've got 12 and an 1/8.
So 12 and an 1/8 on one side and
13 and a half.
13 and a half, so that's still
It's 1 3/8.
inch and 3/8.
So theoretically that should be all centered, and know that gives you all these adjustments and these brackets to compensate for that.
Yeah, there's a ton of adjustability in those motor mounts.
And we've got this plate as well. That goes in.
Yep.
And I told John not to sweat it. It's not a one-shot thing. There's plenty of adjustment in this. So get a baseline and then you can tweak it.
So I think we've got our baseline, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna get past Matt's bald head here. Let's see what he's doing in there.
So now you get a choice of where you want to put these brackets. Because you've got 2 holes to capture, so it's either up or down. And you could always come back and bounce those off if you want to make it really clean. But I think that's where we start with our tack.
That high?
Well, your option is either that.
Let me get a different view of this, man. Say that again now.
So your option is here or here. So that gives you pretty much flush to the bottom of the frame. That drops it and then clear here. So your options are you could weld it there and cut that.
Well, I kind of like having that platform to weld on, to be honest with
Yep.
you. And I guess you would have it either
Yeah.
way, on the bottom or the top.
And this is where John and I have a disagreement. I think that a bead across the top, a bead across each side is going to be more than sufficient.
And I told Matt, I said, you know I'm going all the way around, man.
He's going to weld this thing like the Titanic plate.
I said, you know I'm going all the way around that plate, man. I am not taking any chances, especially with my welding skills. Distributor clears pretty good. This piece here is hitting a little bit. We can buzz that off. Other than that, there's not a lot of clearance issues.
Let's check that header fit on this side.
The header's no problem, man. I mean, it's a block hugger header.
Obviously the wires will be going somewhere else.
Yeah, there's no clearance issues. It's tight, but you got an inch, at least an inch, solid inch, inch and a half down there. Gap between the frame rail and the header. Let me check this side.
And the next thing we want to do is mock up this header with that steering shaft.
Oh yeah, you got plenty of room on this side because we're offset, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we are working to get the cross member put in, and I say we really means Matt is doing it all. So I said, hey man, let's drill the holes out for the transmission mount. And by that I meant Matt's gonna drill the holes out for the transmission mount. And you see what I'm doing. Right there, Bud Light. Yep. No, I'm kidding. We're actually at a pretty good point. We're about to tack in these motor mounts. All right, so I think we're good with the location of the motor. Kind of show you guys what it looks like. We've measured, Matt's measured, and I'm trusting his math skills. He's drinking beer, so I don't know how...
I did the math before we started.
I don't know how that's going to work out, but no, on a serious note, we're good. I mean, we have triple checked this thing, all the clearances. We checked the steering shaft, headers, power brake, booster. Everything looks really good. So we're getting ready to tack these mounts in. And then we're gonna, once we do that, we're gonna continue to work on the cross member because we gotta drill some holes in that thing. right, got the motor mounts tack welded in. Matt's down there making a bunch of noise. So we're in the process of, let me show you that one. We're in the process of pulling the cross member out. We've got to drill some holes in it to line up the transmission mounts. All right, so I'm underneath the Jeep, and just to give you an orientation, there is the rear of the Jeep, and this is the cross member. And when Matt was drilling underneath here, he was drilling out the cross member to give those bolts a place to go, because they were going to hit the cross member. And then we, of course, had to drill 2 new holes for the transmission mount. All right, this is the underside here. There's the transfer case. And from this angle here, you can see the transmission mounts. All right, so this is the front of the motor. And some of these machined surfaces are already kind of rusting a little bit. Now the water pump will be on there, but we are painting. We're painting, touching up some of these machine surfaces on the engine so they don't rust. All right, when I say we are painting, I mean Kelly is painting. She's my wife, and she's been a big supporter of this Jeep project, and tolerates it, I can tell you that, because I talk about it non-stop. Say hi, Kelly.
Hi.
All right, so that looks a lot better, and now those surfaces won't continue to rust. So while we're painting, we're going to paint the motor mounts, and the motor mounts are completely welded in on both sides. So I know originally I thought I was going to tack the motor mounts in and then pull the drivetrain back out so I could get them welded in really good. And we decided to, or I guess I decided to try to work around the motor being in there, because pulling the entire drivetrain back out would have been kind of a pain. So I worked around it the best I could. As a result, there's bolts and nuts in the way on those motor mounts. And as a result, not the prettiest welds in the world, but I got all the way around, 4 sides on each motor mount. So the motor mounts have those holes up against the frame, and they do recommend that you weld those, fill them in with weld essentially, and that's what I did. So I got about 5 of those holes of, I think, the, I don't know, 7 or 8 on each side. And I'm here to tell you these motor mounts are not going anywhere. So it's stout. All right, so the motor is finally in here, and it's all painted up, and everything looks really good. And when I said painted up, just like the motor mounts where we welded are all painted. Maybe you can see this side a little bit better. And then some of these front parts on the motor that were just machined metal that were just left unfinished, we're already kind of starting to lightly rust, kind of like you can see where the water pump goes. And so we touched up some of those things. Like I said, Kelly, my wife, did that, and she did a great job. So there she is, boys. Very, very excited, very happy about this. We made a lot of good progress, and it just looks great. So I did go ahead and put on my billet thermostat housing, and I put on my valve covers, the billet PCV valve, and I got the air cleaner on as well. So when I originally got these valve covers and the air cleaner, the intention, I thought the black looked pretty good, but the intention was to get them painted red to match the Jeep, and also just to kind of dress up the engine compartment. But I really think I'm going to leave them. I think they look great the way they are. All right, really big step done there. So I'm really excited, really happy. God, the motor looks freaking awesome just sitting in there, and love just looking at it. I couldn't wait to put those valve covers on, and I just think the whole thing's going to look great. So I'm really excited. I do want to say thank you, my buddy Matt. Certainly couldn't have done this without his expertise and his help, and appreciate you giving up some of your free time. Free time is precious for everybody, so really appreciate that, Matt. Thanks for all your help, buddy. All right, so stay tuned to the channel. More cool videos to come. We're going to put this thing back together. We're going to get it running. We're going to go have some fun in it. So if you like this video, like the content of the channel,
hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.